My serial cheater husband tried therapy to fix us, but nothing changed.
Let me guess. He still cheated.
Probably. And by the way, this comes directly from the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So this is one of our own
One
right
of our
now.
own little babies.
Wow.
All right. Let's find out.
My 34 female husband, 30 male, Alan, has a long and sordid history of cheating emotionally and physically on me, and in every relationship prior. This is something I've been trying to work through with him since finding out 3 weeks before our secret courthouse wedding. Oh, wow. Because he wanted to elope. Yikes. By the way, this comes from Interesting Slice 117. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. We will read it for you. So, it's since been 3.5 years. We have 3 wonderful children together, a singleton from a previous relationship, and twins 2 years old. The marriage is public knowledge now, so are the children, and unfortunately, not much has changed. Every 3 months, it's something inappropriate or full-blown, no, really, that's cheating, that Alan tries to brush off. So, let's get started. So, the messages. About 2 months ago was the most recent incident, or so I thought. My husband has had a long-time crush on a woman, let's call her Sally. In a group chat, my husband had made a joke referencing having commissioned Sally to make a corn-related art back when my husband and I first started dating, which I knew about and was fine with at the time, as I had no idea about the crush. Well, I don't think you would make those jokes about someone you didn't have a crush on.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, I suppose, she saw as setting the tone for what was appropriate to talk about within the boundaries of our marriage, and while I was very upset for a while, I can't blame her for reading it as a social cue. But she took it a step further. She private messaged him a few hours later about a mutual interest in a corn-related fandom that she was talking to his best friend, Sean, about, while my husband was on the phone with Sean and elected to not keep it an inside joke. They got to bonding over it, and she even sent spicy art that she had drawn of it. Oh, wow. This conversation lasted 2 days. In addition to cheating, my husband is a habitual liar through outright lies and lies of omission. So, when Alan told me about it, he phrased it as if it were a passing comment. She's simply admitting to being embarrassed about being interested in a corn fandom about cartoon characters. What Alan didn't know was the phone we used for the autistic twins' speech therapy, which was his old phone, we had only just recently upgraded. It was still signed into his messenger and everything else. The morning of the second day, it wouldn't stop dinging from the flurry of messages sent one after the other of this fandom. One of the children had flipped the iPhone switch on the side off of silent, and I read it all. It wasn't something I was willing to bring up because we were headed to his parents' house for the weekend. But when he returned home from work, he actually brought it up, which is surprising to me because he almost never admits to anything I don't already know about. I was weirdly pleased. Until, of course, he omitted so much of the conversation. He made it sound as if she only sheepishly mentioned it in a group chat, and I had to step away. At dinner that night, I let him know that I knew everything. I slept alone that night, and we left for his parents' house the following morning. It wasn't until we were arriving at his parents' house that I explained it had been long enough of this. For relevant context, for reference, I'm naturally polyamorous and he is not. I had offered monogamy, and as someone on the spectrum, I've noticed it's different for everyone, so I let him set the rules. When a friend joking with me about a silly, spicy hobby made him uncomfortable, I explained to the friend that I had agreed to monogamy as defined by my then boyfriend at the time, and that conversations about spicy hobbies and spicy related content weren't okay with him. My friend understood, and I have abided by every boundary for our relationship he's ever set, saying because it means something different to him, because such conversations are more than just a joke in his eyes. He would like us to not engage in conversations like that. So I agreed to this. So when he would do the same things he explained meant more, I knew what they meant to him, and I had begged him to change and to stop lying to me, stop chatting up old flames for days on end, stop touching people inappropriately, especially in front of me. But every 3 months, it was something new. Nothing changed. Yikes. Every 3 months? Oh my gosh.
Why? OP, if you knew that he was like a serial liar and a serial cheater, why did you continue to further this relationship? He's disrespecting you, not just once, not just twice, but it seems like frequently, and you don't deserve that.
No. This is like, you're being so forgiving of this man that does not
Yeah,
deserve it.
it's especially when it got to the point of kids.
Yeah.
But I feel like prior to this, and that's probably what we're getting the context of. Prior, it still was going on before the kids. So I
Yeah.
don't. Well,
He does not seem like a good choice for a partner.
yeah.
So now Alvin had a choice. He could either stop clowning around or we could get a divorce. And while I would be polite, since this was a family event we were arriving at soon, Alan should not misconstrue this as me being magically over it, as he has in the past. The choice was simple: do something. When Alan asked what, I said, I don't know, therapy? To which he replied almost in a threatening way, oh, I'll do something. So I expected to see some sort of change, though I was put off by the word choice and tone. Alan had done therapy before, but only because he was forced into it, and it changed nothing about his behavior. His therapist explained that real change has to come from within. Just showing up to talk because someone else wants you to isn't enough. Naturally, Alan stopped going when insurance stopped covering that particular therapist and never sought another. That was 2 years ago, right after he blatantly flirted with the NICU nurses following the emergency C-section of our twins.
That's
oh my gosh.
wild. He flirted with the nurses
Yeah. When
as you gave birth. Like, literally, you just gave birth to your twins, and he.
That is beyond crappy. My goodness.
Why?
Why? So, fast forward 2 weeks from the family event, nothing had changed, but Alan acted like things were fine again, trying to touch me, compliment me, and make small talk as if I wasn't crushed by that conversation, which was clearly not just a joke. That night, when he tried to cuddle, I asked when his therapy appointment was. Alan looked genuinely confused. What therapy appointment? I lost it. I told you, stop clowning me around or I want divorce. You promised to do something to change your behavior. Cue his complaints. I haven't done anything since then. The next morning, he scheduled an appointment for 2 weeks later, then immediately tried to be affectionate again as if nothing happened. I told him no. Over the next 2 weeks, while waiting for the appointment I had forced him to make, Alan began to withdraw. I only texted him if it was important, yet somehow he didn't have time to reply. While, as I later found out, spending hours each day on the phone with his best friend, Sean. Sean and my husband went way back. My husband even used to have a thing for Sean, having nearly kissed him a year or so before my husband and I had started dating. This thought was a thing of the past because Alan said it was, but the phone calls, which used to be every other day for maybe 30 minutes when Alan had something to talk about, went to every day, then 3 hours a day, then 6 hours a day. That is like a job at that point.
And oh wait, don't forget, he's a father too.
Yeah.
Where's that time going with your kids?
Yikes, man. When appointment day finally arrived, my husband again tried to act like everything was fixed, even though it was a meet and greet conversation. Of course, again, I shut this down since nothing was yet fixed. This time, however, Alan continued to ignore me to spend time on the phone with Sean, who I later learned he had been talking to about our relationship. Sean called me ridiculous for still being upset and questioned why I expected my husband to change overnight, while simultaneously calling me cold and unfeeling for not acting like things were fixed overnight. So my husband kept pushing. When Alan wasn't on the phone with Sean, he was trying to force us back to normal, claiming that he had done the therapy and I was still expecting more. And he was right, I was. Deep down, I think what I wanted to see from him was a self-motivated effort to change, to stay married to me, not simply checking off a box to appease me, but really engaging in trying to change. A Google search asking for advice on how to be honest or stop cheating or trying to cheat, something. Some tangible effort. Alan said he understood. As the last 2 weeks have gone by, he's been on the phone with Sean pretty much from the moment he opened his eyes to the moment he closes them, still attempting to interact with me as if things are all fixed, with no outward sign of any new skills being implemented to avoid inappropriate conversations, and still talking to Sally. I was hoping in some way that Sean and Alan were talking about how Alan could fix things, and I couldn't have been more wrong. The motorcycles now. When we had been visiting his parents, we had a conversation at the dinner table about his late grandfather's motorcycles, in which my husband suggested that Sean could fix them up for free and then return them. This was the first I had heard of any of this. In exchange, it's a fun project for Sean, and the before and after photos would be amazing for his business. He lives out of state, so my husband would not be able to help. If this sounds too good to be true, it's because it was. While talking to a friend about this, she suggested that many things were very much not right here, and that I should go through his phone, see if he's been doing or saying anything else inappropriate, but more importantly, see if I'm being too hard on him, and look through his search history to see if there's any evidence of him looking into how to be honest or stop cheating to save our marriage. Again, divorce was on the table. This was, in fact, an ultimatum. I know it's icky to make those, but this one is kind of a no-brainer. It was all motorcycles and memes, and to be fair, there was no evidence of anything inappropriate. The conversations with Sally were suddenly about how great I was, but the motorcycles? That's when I found out that Alan was going to pay for all of the work on them. None of it was free. All of it was going to come out of our expenses to maybe be paid back by whatever family member got them, as none of them were promised to us. One of them was already promised to his dad, all to help Sean. He, very sweet and generous, but we live paycheck to paycheck. 3 kids and a mortgage. In our day-to-day, we cannot afford an expenditure like this. And the worst part, not one Google search. No evidence of asking for advice. When I confronted him about this, Alan said calmly and plainly that he didn't have the emotional energy to look into it. But when I asked about the motorcycles, he lost it. Defensive and shaking and shrugging awkwardly and clowny with angst, and I don't know, and I'm only talking to him about it. I wasn't going to do it without telling you. The parts were in the shopping cart, though. After a month and a half of begging and pleading for him to stop clowning me around and do something to be a better husband, Alan conceded to one meet and greet therapy appointment while trying to invest thousands of dollars, hours of research, and hours more attention into his best friend / former crush while ignoring my messages about anything, even when it was the children. Yikes. So I sat him down, explained he's making no personal effort to change. I don't believe he will, and asked him to stay with his parents for a while because we were done. That was nearly 2 weeks ago. Any advice? And we do have an update, but holy
mackerel.
Cow, man.
Holy mackerel.
That's
that was a
lot of, oh man, this guy just sounds like the absolute worst.
This guy sounds like a teenage boy.
Yeah.
That just like let's just rush this. Like if we'll do this and everything's gonna be fixed. The therapy, everything else along the lines. He's like, oh, I'm gonna do it, or I'll do it. I'll do it. Like that, it'll fix it. It's fixed it.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And then that comment way earlier from Sean being like, oh, like, I can't believe, she expects you to be fixed
change overnight. Yeah.
Why is she still mad about this? It's like, okay, well, like, no, it's not gonna fix overnight. Because I mean, one, if it doesn't change overnight, then yeah, you're gonna believe that it's gonna happen again. And two, even if you knew it wasn't gonna change overnight and you didn't expect that, you are still fully able and valid in still being upset until it does change.
100%.
Yeah.
OP, especially since you're part of the community, this has been going on for far too long. Yeah. That he's ignoring you, and you've asked him nicely, and he's not doing anything. It's the actions speak louder than words kind of thing. Like he says a lot of
things,
but you also have called him out as a serial liar.
Right.
Literally, he likes to lie. He's not going to stop lying.
Yeah. Like how much emotional energy does he need to try to stop cheating on you? Yeah. Like honestly, like. Really, what does he need? If he wanted to not cheat on you and he wanted to fix this marriage, then he would have so much emotional space for that. So there is an update. Apparently, when Alan left, he thought that we were still together, that we were going to work through it when he got back. Remember, his old phone had everything still logged in? 4 hours of reaching his parents' house on Sunday, Alan was looking up a woman he used to pay for spicy sleep. Let's call her Shelly. Okay, wow. Big development. Big thing about his character. Half an hour later, he was on the phone with her. Half an hour after that, she was sending cleavage pictures. Monday night is when Alan texted me and told me he thought we were still together after I already saw what he did. Left all our group chats and blocked him on social media, swearing he was confused why I did all of those things. Over the next 5 days, we argued a lot about looking up a woman for spicy sleep while he thought we were still together. The motorcycles, Sean, Sally, everything. All apparently while he was on the phone with Sean. He was sending Sean memes about getting divorced while simultaneously telling me how much he missed me and couldn't sleep or eat. My goodness, this guy is the worst.
This guy is one of those.
Gosh.
Wow. We call him a multitasker.
Yeah.
He's literally talking, sending memes, and then also texting you.
Yeah.
His
All
brain,
his lies.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness.
I want to study it because that's crazy.
It's crazy. To be clear, none of what Alan did Sunday was cheating. Even though he thought we were still together, I had left him. My issue is that Alan thought divorce was on the table, still had a chance to fix it, and tried to do what he thought was cheating the second he had the opportunity. Alan is still begging for another chance and time to fix himself.
No more chances. No more chances. You've given him unlimited chances to fix anything or at least try to.
Right.
And he's done none of that.
Right, because what that means for him, another chance and time to fix himself, is just more time for her staying and him being able to cheat and do whatever he wants. It's just an excuse.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I am fairly certain that I'm not the a-hole, but for anyone who has read this far, you're welcome to correct me or scold me for staying so long as you like. And there is a second update.
No, OP, you
definitely not the a-hole.
You are not an a-hole.
Definitely not the a-hole. But I do really want you to stand up for yourself and just leave this man. I mean, it sounds like she is.
Yes.
But I need this to happen now.
I was gonna say you're kind of being an a-hole to yourself by not respecting yourself and getting away from him. Letting him, let him still manipulate you and twist your thoughts and make you feel like you're an a-hole when you've done nothing wrong and you just wanted some respect and some action from his part to be a better husband.
Exactly. He's not going to change. He's shown you that. We do have a second update, though. My friend suggested this morning that since our finances are still shared, I checked to make sure that the parts were never ordered for the motorcycle. And he swears they weren't, since that may become an issue later. We have 2 accounts. A joint account I never log into, from which my husband pays the mortgage and groceries, and my account from which I pay all of the utilities. We have separate jobs-ish. I'm a small influencer you undoubtedly never heard of, and I don't make much. But between insurance on cars, power, water, sewer, and phone bills, my monthly expenses are roughly the same as his with our delegated who remembers to pay what bills system. He is more ADHD than me, so he only has to remember to pay 1 bill. I checked the joint account from which our mortgage is paid, and while he was telling the truth, no motorcycle parts were ever purchased. We are broke. Where did the money go?
Where is it, Batman?
Is he not contributing, perhaps?
Where is the money going to? Or rather, who or whom is it going to?
Oh my goodness. Having just got the tax returns back, I expected to see the finances back on track because we use our tax returns to supplement our income throughout the year. We operate on a deficit of about $500 a month, and the tax returns get us through it. There's almost nothing left of them. The savings and checking account are depleted. I can't find anything nefarious. It's all the usual stuff, but we've apparently been broke like this since before Alan started considering buying all the parts for the motorcycles. Alan never told me that we were struggling financially, and still he was going to use what little that was left to buy all of these parts to help Sean's business. What in the heck is going on? Our divorcing is public knowledge now, and everyone on his side of the family is either saying I'm overreacting about all of this because it was just a chat and that it's not that big of a deal, or they refuse to get involved at all. So now I'm not sure again. Am I the a-hole? Is this absolutely normal? Should I have treated each inappropriate conversation and touching and full-blown cheating as its own separate issue, or recognized it as a pattern of behavior? It's very early now as I type, and I'm frantically canceling subscription services to save money because the bank foreclosing on the house, if we can't pay mortgage before selling it if we need to, would make matters much worse. And there is another update. Oh my goodness.
You're not.
No.
Why do you keep insisting that you're an a-hole?
Yeah.
And don't, yes, it's like, that's him cheating. That's him financially cheating.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're all under this umbrella of him just being the worst.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that the people that are saying that you're overreacting are on his side of the family. So
or
clearly,
his friends.
Yeah. So here, clearly, it's just the family just must think it's okay. And he had to have learned it from somewhere. So no, don't listen to his family. You know that he is doing you wrong.
Or again, here's the thing. he might be lying to his family.
True. Yeah, that's very true. How are they learning all this information?
Yeah. Have you talked to his family about it? Or is he telling his side of it to them? You need to get away from this man because all he does is just poison everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Update number 3. It was Sunday night and I had gone to bed much earlier than usual. What was meant to be a nap during nap time lasted until 3 a.m. I knew caregiver fatigue was real, but I thought it was more emotional than physical. While I slept, Alan was on the phone with Shelly, the woman he thought he was cheating on me with, because he misunderstood that I was actively leaving him, not just cooling off. Now, we're on the same page, but he was calling and texting her while making dinner for our kids. That's when he texted me, asking if I could watch the children so he could go to her apartment after work on Wednesday. I was livid. I can't control who he sees, but did it have to be her? Since our finances were still tied together, I asked that childcare be handled by his parents. They had never watched the kids alone before, but I gave consent and informed Alan. He then accused me of controlling him, insisting that it had to be me to watch them or else I was manipulating him not to go. I made a friends-only Facebook post. I only have about 200 friends left there, many unfriended over the years because Alan took issue with them. Some were mutuals or his own friends. The replies were what you'd expect. Break out the baseball bat. In my culture, we'd make sure that he couldn't father kids again. None of these were encouraged, and I deleted them as they weren't helpful. Alan's family saw the post, and it wasn't vague enough to keep them guessing. They called Alan's mom, who then called him, and it was decided that Alan shouldn't come home. His mom showed up to collect his clothes and medication, trying to act polite when she saw my parents were present. She downplayed everything, but I already knew the plan. Alan would stay at his parents' house on Wednesday, and I would be left at home with the kids, forced to watch as he did whatever he wanted. And you should be forced to watch and listen to more full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. Get on over there.
Only if you want to, but
Only if you
we'll
want
be
to.
really upset at you if you don't.
Exactly.
But
So-
she'll probably force you.
Yeah, I will. I won't speak for everyone, but I'm good for it. But anyway, there is a little bit more to this story. My goodness, this man is crazy.
It just doesn't stop when you think.
Yeah.
Now he's playing the gaslighter card or like the victim card. Sorry, the victim
Right.
card where he's like, now you're controlling me. You're too manipulative. You're this.
Yeah.
It just. Where's the respect in this relationship? I've seen him do nothing positive for you throughout this entire story.
Right.
OP. What has he done for you? What has he done to respect you? Like, yes,
Yeah.
he's the father of your kids, but it seems like you guys, all you do is just like, it's something new. Like you said, something every 3 months is just, it's not fair.
Yeah, I know. Like, it kind of sounds that like she is ready to leave him.
Yeah.
But it just sucks that it just doesn't stop because now they have to co-parent and he's not wanting to co-parent. He's like making these excuses and stuff. And so it's just so frustrating that she still has to deal with this even if they do divorce.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough process. It's going to be a long process, and it's going to be a bumpy one.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's better than, time and time again being let down, being manipulated, being just emotionally wiped out, dealing with him and trying to focus on him when you could just be focusing on yourself and on your kids.
Yeah, man. Oh my goodness. So there's a little bit more to the story. I told his mom directly that she was enabling his cruelty. She claimed that Alan had no intention of seeing Shelly despite the constant calls and texts, and that I had no right to be upset since I was the one who dumped him. Sure. I explained again about the cheating and lying, but she insisted that he never cheated because he said so. That's when I lost it. I had sent them screenshots and screen recordings. They then admitted that they had never read them, choosing instead to forward everything to Alan's brother, who would summarize it vaguely enough to keep it from upsetting them. I thanked them for prioritizing me as their daughter-in-law, and I invited them to leave. I stayed mostly off social media, and I played with the children. Nap time rolled around, and I had finished cleaning up from the day, began starting on dinner as they lay down for their evening nap, when I received a notification. Alan had turned off location sharing. So I did as you would expect. I immediately removed him from the family on iPhone and Google, and partner sharing on Google Photos. And the last thing uploaded to his Google Photos, wouldn't you know it, was those motorcycles. We do not yet have a separation agreement set up. He left and texted me only once to inform me that they arrived safely. I have a strong suspicion that he's terrified about what I'm up to as I'm home alone and just as free as he is during the week. All I will tell you in case he comes across this is that I am enjoying myself. But it's very nice for that bar to slowly be sinking to the ground level and to start enjoying myself in ways that I wasn't allowed to previously. And that is the end of that story.
At least it seems like OP understands like things are getting better when he's not in the picture. When he's off and about, you're like, oh, I get time to myself and I feel a little bit more free.
Yeah.
That's what you should feel the entire time, or at least supported by your partner.
Right. And hopefully she's learning this for next time. Hopefully.
100%. I know you're part of our community, OP. We're here to support you and help you and give you advice. The advice is right now, you don't need him in your life.
Yeah.
You do not need him in your life. One, close that account, that joint account. Seems like you're already doing some of that, like with social stuff. Good. Keep pushing him away.
Yeah.
I didn't want my husband to leave, but now I'm changing my mind.
Turn around, touch the ground, kick your husband out of town.
Also, trigger warning for those. There is emotional abuse. If you are not okay with that, or if that bothers you, please go to the next story. Thanks. Mm-hmm. And starting off, am I the a-hole for not wanting my husband to leave me? I, 24 female, have been married for 2 years, but together with the same man, 26 male, for nearly 6. Together, we have a daughter who's 2 years old. My husband will call him Bob. And I wanted to move out and buy a home after we had our daughter. We lived with our family for a bit until we eventually bought a home. By the way, this comes from user Marzipan Sands on the r/charlottedobreyoutube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, my husband knew I was stressed regarding the living situation because, to be honest, it wasn't good and took it upon himself to apply for a mortgage. This shocked me because we were jokingly moving from Washington to North Dakota because the prices for homes were vastly different. Yes, they are. You're sure. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Well, he applied for a mortgage in North Dakota. Since we took the credit hit, I assume might as well look. We found a house and moved, and we were so freaking happy. Jump forward to October, and my father came to visit and told me he felt that Bob was not treating me well. I have several health issues that we are working with specialists to figure out what. My father pointed out I was doing most of the housework and looked miserable. I will say, I was exhausted, but I still thought I was happy, and I am a full-time online student and stay-at-home mom. Wow. However, there are several things I can't do without suffering later. I brought this to Bob's attention, and every time he would just say he would do better, but nothing would change. After we visited family in January, things got worse. He stopped acting affectionate at all. No hand-holding or anything like that. Would walk several paces ahead of me when we're out and stopped opening doors for me, but would open them for other people.
That's weird.
That's feel suspicious. Like, yeah, maybe he's got something against you now.
Walking ahead of you, man? That sounds like a bratty child that is just upset about something.
He's got his little arms like this. Like,
yeah.
Are you okay? Yeah, why?
He just speeds up ahead of you.
No, I'm just a fast walker.
Oh my gosh.
This began to really bother me, and I would bring it up several times and get the same response every time. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I'll do better. Never did better, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
During this time, I would ask him frequently if he still loved me, and if he was happy, and let him know he could tell me if he wasn't. He would adamantly say yes every time, not showing it. Actions speak louder than words.
Right.
Eventually, I became resentful after we found out I probably have lupus and APS and will continue to get worse. Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yikes.
And this is when your husband should be your rock and should support you and be there for you and make you feel better and,
Right. Maybe do some more work around the house.
Yes.
Yikes.
Anything to make you relax or just help in general.
Yeah.
I became very depressed, and Bob now claims he did as well at the time. Well, things got even worse, and I became resentful and angry because he wouldn't do the few chores I'd ask him to do.
Dang.
The chores were to wash the dishes. I'd put them away. And to do the laundry, but I would fold and put them away. He agreed to these and felt it was fair, but wouldn't do them until I nagged so much and he would do the dishes and would be so bad at doing them that they would start growing fruit flies. That's
Yikes.
disgusting.
Ew.
That's foul.
That's a health concern. You've got children. This is like literally like weaponized incompetence.
He should be doing both the dishes and putting them away. And he should be doing both the laundry and folding them for you.
And he should also just not want to live in an area where his dishes are growing fruit flies.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Do your dishes.
Gosh.
And support your wife.
Yes. Please.
I will admit at this point, I was in the wrong because I would call him while he was on break at work sometimes and tell him I was mad about the dishes, mostly because we can't live like that, especially not with a small child. And he would apologize and says he loves me, etc.
Sure.
Jump forward to the end of April. Now I've said to him, I want a divorce because my family has come to visit after I had to have my gallbladder removed due to the lack of blood flow. And they also saw how he was treating me and they became angry. They tried to convince me to leave and I caved. At this point, he has also done other things that upset me, like opening a bank account behind my back, which I did not yell or anything about it. I didn't even say anything after I found out, besides that he needs to keep me in the loop. So I caved and told him I was leaving because I felt unloved and unhappy and he wouldn't change. And this is where he's going to get on his knees and tell you, don't leave. I'll do this for you, baby.
Right. Or make you feel bad and feel like they're manipulating you.
Let's see. He begged me not to go and told me that he couldn't live without me.
Boo-hoo. Clearly.
Yeah, obviously. But you can 100% live without him.
Exactly.
This worried me, so I caved. No. Eventually, I finally said enough was enough and took off my ring and told Bob, as far as I'm concerned, we are done. Oh, you caved the right way, not to Bob.
Oh, okay.
Good. At this time, I was talking to someone online. I play video games, but it was not romantic as I told him about my situation. After I told my friend, we'll call the friend Steve, about what I told Bob, he admitted he felt it was for the best, but didn't want to say because he felt Bob was abusing me by not helping me and also not picking up my meds from the pharmacy, but not wanting me to drive with our child because I get dizzy spells. What does Bob do for you?
Nothing.
Other than make your life a living heck.
He's literally an obstacle.
Yeah, you're taking care of you're taking care of a man baby right now.
Yeah.
Steve also tells me at this point he has feelings for me, so we start casually flirting because I was rebounding. I've been starved of love for months at this point, but I wish I hadn't indulged myself. After a week and a half, roughly, Bob begged me again not to leave because I reminded him I wanted a divorce, and I told him I wanted to see other people. We then discussed an open relationship. We did not talk about do's and don'ts like we should have, but we just agreed on an open marriage. No.
Yikes.
Why are you making it messier? You divorce first.
You didn't talk about rules?
Yeah.
That's the only rule about open relationships is that you gotta talk about rules.
At this point, you're not even in a marriage because you're taking care of a man baby who doesn't love you.
Yeah.
Or doesn't he says he does, but he's not doing that.
Oh my goodness.
Well, time goes by and I had the opportunity to go see Steve. At this point, Bob and I had discussed that if I saw Steve in person, we would not have spicy sleep because Bob couldn't handle it, and I agreed. Well, I ended up deciding I didn't want to go see Steve and had even told Bob several times I wanted to break things off with Steve, but Bob would get mad at me and tell me no. Literally tell me he would get mad at me. Well, I told Bob I don't want to go see Steve. I'm going to refund the ticket. Bob asked me why, and I explained that we tried it, and it doesn't feel right to me, and things were slowly starting to feel better between us. Bob explained he was annoyed and didn't care if I went or not, but I followed through and canceled the flight. Because probably Bob's seeing somebody else.
Yeah, probably.
Now, 2 days after our 2-year wedding anniversary, Bob has told me he wasn't in love with me anymore, and he broke up with me.
Great.
Telling me it's because I'm a bad mother. Something he has never once said before. I freaked out. Cried, begged, everything. He held strong and said no. Why are the tables turned here?
He's getting his power back, pushing her down.
Stop. Then the following day, I had a very important doctor appointment an hour and a half away, and he refused to take me, meaning I had to drive myself. I cried the entire drive.
Oof.
When I got home, he apologized and we talked things out and even agreed to stay together. No!
Classic.
Stop!
Classic.
Why? I again brought up cutting Steve out so we can focus on us. Bob, good old Bobby, said no. Things were starting to get better. I was slowly distancing myself from Steve because it felt right. Then I found out Steve cheated. I didn't really care and saw it as a reason to stop talking to Steve, but I didn't block him. Bob ended up looking through our messages, which I didn't delete or hide because I truly didn't think I was cheating or anything of the sort since we agreed on it. Well, Bob comes to me and says he went through them and he was done with me and no longer loved me because I was a cheat.
For sure.
This is hurting my brain.
So much sense.
Angie, this is hurting my brain. They agreed. You agreed on an open marriage.
She repeatedly said, "Oh, I'll stop seeing Steve." Right? Because that's causing problems. And he's like, "No, keep going."
No, keep going.
He's definitely doing that so he can like
Just
use
hold it
this
over
cheating
her.
thing. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
At first, I panicked and cried and begged, and I said I was sorry. He was right. I'm horrible. No! After I calmed down, I realized we agreed to an open marriage. What did he mean I was cheating? Yes!
Now you're getting it.
We had sent some images back and forth, but I never once met with this person in real life. By the way, you can watch us in real life by listening to full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. 65 days and counting of content. Still going strong.
So many.
There is a little bit left to this. OP. This poor girl. You had it. You had it right there. It was right in front of you. You literally arm's length of, I think I'm going to divorce you. And he begged and cried and he said, I still am going to divorce you.
Yeah.
And then you're like right there to click the button.
Right.
Like finger on the trigger on the button.
Yeah.
And you took it off. You're like,
wait.
I think we can do an open marriage.
Man.
I think that might make this relationship a lot better. This might strengthen the relationship when it's only been me, and now look where it's gotten us.
Wrong. Yeah.
He's manipulating you, making you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Why? Get away from this man. He's done nothing right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and finish the story. I really hope you get back to that button and press it and you just divorce.
Please.
There's no point of being with Bob, especially after the way he's treating you right now.
Yeah.
I confronted Bob, and he told me he realizes this, but didn't care. I was still a cheat, and he didn't want me. He said I was tainted now, and I wasn't his.
Yikes.
He took off his ring and smashed it.
What?
My heart shattered along with it. The last several days have been crying and arguments where he has gone back and forth on loving me still, but not being able to be with me, now to him being completely angry at me. This also seems like a case of something with Bob because he's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, he just...
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, last night, he led me to believe he might change his mind by saying he loved me still and did want to stay and he wants to cave, but he can't. He admitted that he knows that if I had thought I was cheating on him, I never would have done the things I had because I did still love him. He's still refusing to stay with me to even try to work past things, but also wants me to live with him and our child so that he can see her and me until we can sell our house and move back home to be with the family. Am I an a-hole? Am I the cheater he's saying I am? I know I effed up in many ways, but what do I do? And there are comments. Angie, is OP an a-hole?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is literally, this is classic manipulator moves, okay? He is desperate for some sort of power in this relationship or just in general. And he maybe is having his own conflicting feelings about the relationship and just has absolutely no idea how to deal with them. Not something that should be sympathized with in this situation, but it's so classic for him for people to just be like, you're the problem. You're the reason that this relationship isn't working. Not me. It's you. And then being like, I still love you. See, I'm not the problem because
but I can't be with you. But I can't be with you because you cheated on me, even though I agreed to an open marriage because you wanted to divorce me because I was a scumbag and didn't do anything you asked me to do. Right. But you're the a-hole, OP.
Yeah.
No,
not at all. And
No!
it sucks though too, because there's absolutely nothing you could do to change this guy's mind. So you really just have to leave and go to therapy, and hopefully eventually you'll learn that it's truly not your fault at all.
Yes.
He's just a crazy guy.
We have some comments. Comment number 1. You know why everyone was telling you to leave for months. Because everyone sees what you don't. He's harmful and likes playing games with your mind. Why do you think that every time you were ready to leave, he suddenly wanted to make things work? That's how abusers are when their plaything decides that they're done. They start love bombing you to make you second guess your choices. Just stop chasing someone who likes hurting you. The whole open relationship thing was a trap to make you look like the bad guy. If you can't, get a parenting app and only talk to Have about the kid. Nothing else, for the love of God. And that is the end of that story.
Oh, thank goodness.
If your family is telling you this is not healthy, they're most likely right.
Yeah. Trust them. Trust the people around you.